Thresh is a good support that has high popularity amongst players, which is understandable as his set of abilities are one of the most flexible around when it either comes to offensive or defensive play. While Thresh might be a good support to roll on, he can still be complicated at first sight as you're forced to multitask in certain situations because of the mix of that hook and lantern combos and various other ones given. Nidalee is one of the only champions that has two separate forms put together, and it's a great combination, I have to say. However, laning with the Huntress can be situational as her early game is not the strongest one around as she is very vulnerable to crowd control and jungle ganks too. Upon reaching the ultimate, the game gets a lot easier as you gain access to your Kuga form abilities, which increases your mobility and burst output a lot. The difficulty comes from mastering these abilities together, meaning that which form is best for certain situations and when you can afford to play aggressive and when defensively, for example. Karthus the Death Singer takes an advantage via global annoyance as he gets usually recognized or noticed by his ultimate requirement. Annoying or not, why I really think Karthus is taking part of this list is because he is more or less late game AP carry and his early game can suffer a lot by almost laning against any other champion, so it's really situational when to pick him. If the conditions meet however and the lane goes just fine, it's all about gathering the teamfights and doing a ton of damage with his lay waste and defile combo while slowing them too and finishing away with the ultimate. Zed is without a doubt a fun champion to execute various combos and other tricks around, but he's very tough when it comes to handling all the mechanics together. The ability to teleport back and forth can be useful but tricky, plus that outstanding burst Zed can deal to squishies are amazing too, but the maximum potential comes from smart thinking and some trial and error as well. Lee Sin is a very popular champion and I really can't deny it either as he's a ton of fun to play. Still though, when you take a look at his abilities, there are so many ways you can execute combos, escape or maneuver through different situations. As you go on with Lee Sin, it doesn't feel any complicated at first sight, but personally I think he needs a lot of trial and error for great success, and mastering him completely is way complicated compared to many other champions around. Vayne is definitely one nasty Night Hunter, which I really adore because of her mechanics given. Even though Vayne is one of the only champions that focuses primarily on single target focus, I think that is the key for delight and satisfaction when you play her and successfully one-on-one someone else. However, due to her weakest early game and restrictions to focus down only single opponent, can be difficult to handle in the first place, as well as she has no built-in escape either, which makes it more difficult to play, but feels extremely rewarding if done successful plays. Cassiopeia is one tricky serpent because of her difficult ability mechanics put together. Her spells provide some crowd control filled up with poison system that allows some great damage over time, plus the chance to spam her third ability Twin Fang whenever the poison is active on the target. The hard part in my opinion comes from landing these first two poison spells and the ultimate, which can be very difficult to land at times, and even cost your own life if missing the opportunities too often. Yasuo is one hell of an assassin due to the fun and unique sort of gameplay that's mixed up. His abilities are amazing combination together as he'll provide outstanding pressure at all times with Steel Tempest, kite away or invade with Sweeping Blade, and then finish things off with Last Breath. Might sound easy, but combining all of this and adding Wind Wall to the mix isn't really that easy after all, because the accuracy and timing are the key to success with Yasuo, with an example of missing that third Steel Tempest or using that Wind Wall too early or too late can cost your life, or not being able to ultimate and therefore demand on other airborne abilities. Draven is one of those AD carries that I don't see that often, and when I do, they screw around too much. He gets always either the goddamn 5 to 10 kills in the first 20 minutes or 10 deaths and GG surrender whenever I see Draven. But when you take a deeper look at Draven's mechanics, it's no surprise that you either do good or bad with him, as his abilities aren't the most complex to use, but his spinning axe, I believe, is the reason for the mixed skill-driven players. And it's just not about catching them only, it's more like keeping the full rotation in the lane and teamfights when those axes flip up and down. Also, Draven has no proper escape ability, so that makes it more difficult to play as well. Anivia is a bird that I find very complicated to play all around in every stage of the game. And that is not because she has bad abilities, no. It's more like because her abilities are so damn good, it's hard to keep up with things. That being said, her abilities provide outstanding amount of crowd control with its multiple slows, a stun and even turn obstacle, plus the damage she executes with Frostbite when slowed is crazy as well. The issue, however, is that her first ability, Flash Frost, has a slow missile speed and can be hard to land, plus her second ability, Crystallize, can block the enemy approach well, but it can also ruin your allies' position and even lead them to death as well. So as Anivia is extremely powerful late game AP carry to play, I still think he's hard to master and also the most hard to play in my opinion.